All right, what a game, what a game. I'll tell you which game we're talking about. West Ham versus Manchester United. It was 0-0, and I had accepted United's fate, which has been happening to us over and over again. And then it happened. What a brilliant team goal. I mean, I'm not going to give it to Rashford. It's a team goal right at the siren, and the ball went in. I had the goosebumps. And it's been a while. Just to let you know, this win puts United back in the top four at the expense of West Ham United. Now, Lal, can we now see United finishing in the top four? I'm not saying 100%. I'm just saying maybe 25, 30%, or maybe you want to give 50% chance after this amazing edge of the seat thriller in the last second Fergie time goal against West Ham, who are now kicked out. They are direct rivals also, by the way. All the four teams are chasing, at least four teams are chasing. What do you think?
I would not give 50% yet. I know we had this discussion last week where I had my views where United will not, finish in the top four. I would still think it's probably like it has increased our chances from 10% to, I mean, if I'm optimistic, I'll give them 20% chance, not more than that. Because at the end of the day, we are celebrating, oh, wow, great win against Brentford. Oh, we won last minute goal against West Ham. I mean, we are still 17 or 18 points behind City. That's the reality. That's the world we live in. So I don't know if I'm like
We're not
happy that, oh,
chasing
like,
City. Yeah, we're
I
not chasing
mean,
City.
but that's the thing that hurts me, right? At the beginning of the season, we were like, oh, we will close the gap. Last time we came second. Can we consolidate our second? I was never saying we'll win the title. Can we consolidate our second position? Can we play better? Look where we are. We are trying to finish in the top four. Technically, I mean, it's no one's God's given right to finish in the top four, but I mean, if we do this, like we will become another Arsenal or Liverpool for the next 20, 30 years. I mean, not Liverpool of the last 3 years, but previous 30 years that we'll keep on waiting for that elusive title. I mean, anyways, I'm not going to paint this podcast with a gloomy outlook. It's a win, 3 points nonetheless. Great. I mean, there is nothing more magical than a last minute, last kick of the game goal. It's that's why people love this game. It's a romantic finish, and I'm glad that it fell in the right way for as a United fan. So yeah, I'm happy about that. But still, again, to answer your question, I won't give them more than 20% chance to finish in the top four.
That was a very long answer to give eventually. Only 20%, which I thought 25 was the lowest you will give. Thank you very much. Everybody's upset. So let's talk about Rashford. Is Rashford back? I mean, he scored 2 goals in 2 games coming off the bench, or is just yet another mirage? My 2 cents is I am not convinced. I firmly believe Rashford is an off the bench player. He's not a starter. I think we just thought he was much better player than he really is. He's a good player.
He is a good player. He's not. That's the difference between, or the step up between good and great is pretty significant. You have so many good players as United. How many of them are truly great, right? Yeah, it's flattering to deceive. 2 goals. I mean, I'm happy if he continues to come off the bench and scores 1 goal every game. So like, so be it. But I mean, Rashford has his flash in the pan moment. He goes like 3 games on a great streak and then hides for 10 games. I'm not convinced. Now there is a break. Let's see. Let's see if he can continue his kind of so-called short golden form and extend it. But I'm still not convinced. Let's see how consistent he is after the break.
All right, fair enough. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the curious case of Golden Boy, Jadon Sancho. You love Sancho more than you love your wife and Guju food. You'll defend him to death, I know, but is everyone wrong when they say Sancho really hasn't lived up to the billing? And also, pundits questioning his pace. He looks like Harry Maguire. Somebody said, "What's
But
his
this
future at United? Is he the real deal, or we just was this another mirage for like more than 100
this is
million
a
bucks?"
this is a perfect case of hindsight being 2020, right? It's the same pundits. No one said why United bought him. Everyone was singing praises like, wow, like great, this is
I
the
did.
missing
I
pieces.
did. I was
Yeah, I
skeptical,
know.
right? I was very
You
skeptical.
had your reservations, but the pundits that you're referring to right now who are trashing him, I'm talking about those pundits. I
Fair
went
enough.
back and saw their inputs at the beginning of the season and how they were excited and all that. This is a case of hindsight, right? Now, I did also just dug up some stats or something, right? I mean, he has started less than half of United's games this season. That's number one. Number two, whatever games he started, 80% of those games he started, on the left. I thought we had Rashford and Martial on the left fixed. We were solving the problem on the right hand side because last year no creativity came on the right. I'm still flabbergasted why, first of all, Oli played him like off his main position that he was bought for. So I think once you give him 10 games in his position and then his stats continue to, you know, uh, doesn't don't improve, then I kind of concede to the point that okay, fine, maybe we got it wrong and he's not the player that we hoped and wished he would be. But my point is, I have very little sample size of data to conclusively say that okay, like he's gone, done. He can't be a United player anymore. It's similar to Donny van de Beek. I don't have enough data, or I've not seen him enough consistently playing in the right position to pass a judgment either one way or the other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to make this whole podcast about Jadon Sancho, but as we're understanding, when my reservations were about Jadon Sancho, they were not just about Jadon Sancho's talent. My reservations about where the fuck will this guy play? You convinced me he's going to play on the right wing. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. But then I was also thinking about the emergence of Greenwood. I think it's when Ronaldo was bought, it just completely, threw the whole apple cart
Correct.
out the window because
Yeah.
you cannot have all three in. And Greenwood is
Yeah.
somebody you can't put him on the bench. I mean, he's supposed to be playing. What else is going to do? I mean, such a great player. If he plays consistently, if he starts scoring so many goals, this guy could be like 100 million player right away. I think just everything just went haywire after Ronaldo has come in. So when people complain at Juventus, I think no, everything is according to Ronaldo. He can't be benched because he just complains. When people say like no, Ralph Ragnick is making decision, but no, the point is not that. The point is that Ronaldo will keep complaining every time. So next time, Rara has to think multiple times before he take him off because he'll just keep complaining. So what he's doing is making sure next
Half.
time he doesn't take him off.
Correct. Correct. And the point is, the moment you sub him off or put him on the bench, half the press conferences will, be questions around Ronaldo's happiness and things like that. And Rara would be like, why the hell do I want this headache? Let's just put him in the team. I'll figure out who the rest 10 players are. It's not worth the headache. I mean,
Oh.
it's difficult. It's a difficult one to swallow, especially with someone like Ronaldo. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you that the sudden signing of Ronaldo kind of threw the plans haywire. To me, I thought when the season was about to start, before we signed Ronaldo, I thought the number nine striker role will be shared between Cavani and Greenwood. Greenwood, Cavani would mentor him to become the eventual striker. Jadon Sancho on the right, Rashford, stroke Martial on the left, Fernandes in the center. So I thought that's the plan. But then Ronaldo came in, and then of course everything went haywire. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, point is, Jadon Sancho has to fight and prove, even though if he's chucked out of his position, does he have the talent and mettle to say that, like, position is irrelevant. I will try and prove my talent anyways anywhere on the pitch. So yeah.
Fair enough. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's everything has become about Ronaldo. But let's move on a little bit. Let's move on to the team which is the best, and which is the best by a mile. But a draw against Southampton, who are still have not lost against City. They have this impregnable record against City. In fact, they've beaten them also. Now, there was this 1-1 draw. In fact, Southampton, if you're watching the match, could have been 2-0 up. One goal was offside,
Yeah.
just very minor offside. And do you think
Yeah.
City has opened this tiny, tiny little door for Liverpool, the other Reds, to mount a title challenge? Well, mathematically speaking, I'll explain to you how this works. So right now, the lead is, it was supposed to be 14 points, but they dropped 2 points to go on to 12 points. But if Liverpool wins all their games in hand, they have 2 games in hand also, then they'll be like cut down to 6. And if they beat City on April 9th, wishful thinking, Then the lead will be cut down to 3 points. Perhaps this season isn't over. Can Liverpool dream at least one of the Reds? Can one of the Reds win? Is
It's
it
like
still possible? I mean,
it's
from
like we are
14
trying
till
to
3,
script.
I've dragged it.
Yeah, it's like we are trying to script a reality show, right? If this happens, there are like so many ifs. I mean, I'm happy if the title race, is back on. Otherwise, it'll be a very boring season. Like, who? I mean, if one place is already decided, then you are like, okay, fine, like screw it. It's not fun anymore. I would like to believe, as a football lover and as a neutral romantic, I would love to have the title race open, but I don't think in reality it is. City are just the problem with City, or I mean, I would not say problem. The problem, I mean, the issue that the other teams face is City go on this run of games where they don't drop any points. Last season also it happened. They started slow. November, like everyone was writing off City. They will not win the title. They went 3 months without dropping a point. Same as this case, right? They last dropped a point in November or something. So they go on these runs where they don't even draw a game, and that's just like just crazy. And I just believe this is just one off. Uh, but you're right, they got lucky. I thought Southampton deserved to win. They should have been 2-0 up for sure. But yeah, I mean, the 2 points dropped for City is a big deal. Hopefully it opens a crack. Post the break, they drop more points, and let's see where it goes.
All right, let's take a little detour to La Liga. We'll come back to Premier League because that's the only league that counts. Okay, now that Barcelona has shared, let's talk about Barcelona. Do you think? I mean, recently I heard whatever happened to Ousmane Dembele. I mean, like just a couple of weeks ago, this Javi guy was saying Ousmane Dembele is the best and he's going to be like in the team for the next 24 years. And suddenly they have ostracized Ousmane Dembele because apparently he's refusing to sign the contract or accepting the pay cut or whatever nonsense is happening. If Barcelona doesn't let him play, what's next? There's a World Cup coming up for France. Is he coming to Premier League or is going to be like at Newcastle's 723rd signing this season? Because Newcastle apparently is signing everybody.
It looks like it's untenable for Dembele to stay because Barcelona have made it public and they've dug their heels that either you sign this contract or you're not going to play for the rest of the season. To my mind, I think that's a little bit harsh. Like, if that guy is going to make the team play better, then I mean, it's a very sad situation for the player. It's like United saying, "Fuck you, Paul Pogba. If you're not going to sign, like stay on the bench, rot on the bench for a year. We'll not play you." So it's kind of an opposite philosophy or view that Barcelona has, and we don't know whether what the reality is, whether Dembele is asking for more money when Barcelona is going through shit, or Barcelona is asking him to take a pay cut, which probably isn't fair either. So it's an ugly situation that Barcelona have dug themselves into. I hope Dembele comes to the Premier League, but I don't see a way out for him. Let's see. It's same as Aubameyang. I don't see him coming back to Arsenal team again. It's the same thing with Dembele. I don't know where he is going off next, but it looks like it's the end of the road for him at Barcelona.
Yeah, fair enough. I've heard Aubameyang is going to Barcelona, and I really hope my employers also follow the same policy that Barcelona's policy against Dembele, because I'm not signing any new contract. I've told them I'm leaving the company. Please don't call me to work. Just keep paying me. I don't mind it. Just increase the salary also, for fucking sake. Like, I don't know why everybody's complaining. Oh, I'm getting so much money, I'm not playing. Oh, well, come on, mate. Let's get back to Premier League. Let's talk about Norwich. People are like, why are people talking about Norwich? Because they were dead and buried, and out of nowhere, they won their last 2 games. I don't know how they did it, but they did it convincingly as well. I mean, 3-0, 2-1, it was just amazing. They were 2-0 up against Everton or something. And now they're out of the bottom 3. Like, it's just was unimaginable. This is going to be a miraculous escape, is it? Or are Everton, also two-part question, and Everton are at relegation risk. Is Dean Smith the Messiah, the guy who was kicked out of Aston Villa?
Oh,
What do you think?
like
This
too
is
much
something.
too much to unpack. This is why we love the Premier League, right? 2 weeks ago, we said if one team is going down, that's Norwich, that's written, like done. Who are the next two, right? It was dead sure. And now suddenly Watford are dragged down, and looks like they are the ones who will definitely go down. It's made
Yeah,
interesting. It's
they're
the
sacking the
things. I
17th
mean,
coach as well in the last 2.5 years.
it's going to be very interesting. My hope is, I hope Leeds don't get dragged into that relegation. I want to see them in the Premier League. I just hope they don't get dragged into this battle. It's anyone's game. I mean, I still believe Norwich might go down. Burnley have like some 4 or 5 games in hand. It's just crazy. If you look at the table, you can't really, really see what's going to happen, because some teams are at 17 games, some teams have played 23 games. It's just crazy the amount of games in hand some teams have, and
Burnley
uh,
17 games,
it's
and they're at the bottom.
yeah, yeah. So it's crazy. I just hope Burnley pull out a miracle against Arsenal today. Right, the match is going on, so I hope they win and make it even more spicy. The
Yeah, it's
bottom three.
0-0 at 25. Liverpool is 1-0 against Crystal Palace. Liverpool is really mounting the title challenge. Leicester and Brighton are 0-0. There's been a lot of no goals since yesterday. I don't know what the fuck, man. But the lot of Fergie goals, Fergie time goals, like
Yeah,
yesterday also. It was amazing. So
yeah.
you still believe Norwich can you think Norwich can make it? I mean, who your last three right now at this point in time?
Difficult, but I would say Watford, Norwich, and I'm still not sure between Burnley and Newcastle. Burnley have like tons of games. Sean Dyche have, time and time again pulled them out of this hole.
Yeah, so did
I would
Eddie
just
Howe as
say,
well for Bournemouth, but eventually they went down.
yeah, eventually they did. But I think Newcastle might buy their way out of trouble. They might sign two more players and probably like nick a win or two and get the momentum they need. So I would say Watford, Norwich, and Burnley.
All right, Watford, Norwich, Burnley it is. Let's talk about Romelu Lukaku. Do you think he'll be playing at Chelsea next season? If not, where will this guy go? Nobody can afford his salary or transfer fee, which is like $3 million like every week or something, and $300 million to pay for transfer fee. Is there a way back for Lukaku at Chelsea? What do you see next?
There is a way back for him. Score in the next couple of games. Nothing silences, the controversy, like, scoring a couple of goal does, right? Um, he has to, perform better than he's been playing so far. I know he blamed, the tactics and Tuchel's system for him not performing how he performed at Inter. But whatever it is, they have to sort it out. I think Chelsea need Lukaku, and Lukaku, as you said, like where will he go? No one in Italy can afford him anymore. I doubt whether Barcelona or Real Madrid can afford him. I don't think Bayern Munich are a team who will sign a striker like Lukaku. In Premier League, he's already played for 3, 4 clubs now, so there are really not too many places for him to go, right? So yeah, I mean, I think there is a way back for him because Chelsea need him, and but I still don't see him scoring against the big teams. That has been his, Achilles heel throughout his career, right? Wherever he's played, he's never scored at crunch times against big teams when it mattered. So yeah, that still remains to be seen.
All right, fair enough. Okay, moving on to the very final question, very short question. Just before that, I'll rat out this stat. Apparently, Romelu Lukaku, losing my throat. I mean, Romelu Lukaku is the one person who has made the maximum money for his clubs, whatever the clubs you were talking about, in transfer fees. I mean, like the guy has made like hundreds and hundreds of millions in like multiple transfers. I mean, running into like almost 400 to 500 million pounds or something like that. It's been crazy. It's been just crazy. Crazy amount of money has
Yeah,
exchanged hands. Everybody has made money out of Lukaku. So I think if another 100 million pound, this guy will be the greatest ever in the history of transfers. So Chelsea and Spurs are playing tonight. Who do you think is winning? Will Lukaku, as you said, finally score a goal against a big team?
I am hoping for a draw. Personally, I don't know. I think Chelsea might edge out Tottenham by an odd goal, like how they did it in the EFL Cup semi-finals. I think they just look too strong for Tottenham, tactically and like man to man. They look strong. I know they are going through a phase right now, but I just think Chelsea might have a bit much. But as a neutral, I would love a draw, which kind of make sure both teams drop some points, and we drag Chelsea also in the top four race. It'll be nice if two positions in the top four are open, and it increases the chances of United and Arsenal and Spurs to like get in there. So yeah, I would love for Chelsea to drop some points, but I think Chelsea might nick it, and Lukaku will not score. That's
Damn
me.
it. I really want Spurs to win because I want United. Whosoever thought, including Gary fucking Neville, that he doesn't fit the profile of United, motherfucker idiots. You just fucking let Conte go. This guy's the best fucking coach ever in the history, and you just did this to me. And I really hope Lukaku scores just for his own sake, even if they lose. It'll be nice to see. But yeah, if it's a draw, I'd rather wanted a 3-3 or at least a 2-2 draw, not a fucking 0-0. I can't have that anymore. All right, make a quick prediction. Although I said it's the last minute, I'll just give you the quick scores. Arsenal, Burnley, 31 minutes, 0-0. Crystal Palace, Liverpool. Liverpool leads by 1 goal. Virgin van Dijk scored. Leicester and Brighton Hove are 0-0 again at 32 minutes. Who do you think is going to win this match? Please don't go for draws. Please, I beg you. Arsenal versus
Liverpool will
Burnley.
win.
Liverpool will win there.
Burnley, I would say. I mean, a draw will be as good as a defeat for Arsenal because they'll drop points when they need it. I will go. Burnley is at home, right? I would go for. Let's make it controversial. Burnley winning by 1-0.
No, yeah, Burnley winning 1-0 against Arsenal. Oh, by the way, Liverpool just scored again, Oxford Chamberlain. So I was just going to say something that just destroyed me because I felt like Crystal Palace have this thing of always coming back. Liverpool just like conceding goal, but now I don't know what to say. It's 2-0 already. So you're going for Burnley for creating controversies. No, Arsenal is at home. This is at Emirates.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Emirates.
so it's going to be difficult.
Still,
and Leicester is at home. Yeah, Liverpool is away, but I mean they're already 2-0 up.
I think Leicester will win. Liverpool will win 3-0. I don't think Palace will score a goal against Liverpool. I don't know about the scoreline for Leicester. I'm not sure. I would say Leicester will nick the game by an odd goal.
All right, on that note, let's end this. Rara. So final takeaway from this thing is that Lal believes, our Pandit, the greatest Pandit ever in history, believes United will definitely finish in top 4. He's also thinking we're going to mount a title challenge. That's exactly what he said, his words. And he said Jadon Sancho will become the greatest goal scorer in this season. He will outscore everybody, including Robert Lewandowski, everything. Rashford will become the 100 million player this season, and Southampton will finish in top 10, which could actually be possible. And Barcelona's Dembele will come to Newcastle United and play every single match and never get injured for the rest of his life. And Norwich will also finish in top 10. And Romelu Lukaku will score twice against Chelsea tonight. That's exactly what he said. And Liverpool will lose the match, although they're 2-0 up, but they will concede 3 goals against Crystal Palace. That was how I summed it up.
First. You heard it first here.
That's exactly called attention span of a goldfish, I believe. So yeah, on that note, thank you for your time, Rara. And I'm Gav. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe if you want to, or you can always drink some milk. Good night.